Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life, and in this video we're going to be answering the question, can you be friends with your ex after a breakup? And the answer to the question is no. All right, see you next time. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. No, you can't be friends with your ex after a breakup. Now, obviously, if you just went on like one date or something like that and you weren't ever actually in a real relationship, yeah, potentially you could be like pure platonic friends. However, if you had a legit relationship, it's going to be emotionally pretty much impossible to actually be just platonic friends. You're always going to have this attraction towards them because something attracted to you, the two of you, to each other in the first place. And attraction isn't just something that you can switch off and on. That's to say, if the attraction is there, it's probably always going to be there. Now, this has never happened to me with a client in the many, many years that I've been doing this, but theoretically, I could see, someone losing attraction for someone if there was just some sort of, like massive personality break where it's like, hey, I thought you were this person and then this thing happened and then I realized you were someone totally different and I totally lost attraction for you. That could happen. Also some sort of like, dramatic physical transformation, like someone gaining or losing like a tremendous amount of weight. Again, truly significant, not like, 5 pounds. I know people are super critical of themselves, like, oh my goodness, I gained 5 pounds, but like, no, that's probably not enough to do it. Something big, or maybe someone was in like a car accident and they just like don't look the same or something like that, right? But that's never happened to me with a client, and I don't imagine it's probably going on with you. Again, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with you. I haven't talked to every single person out there that's watching these videos, but I would be surprised if that was going on with you. There's going to be attraction, most likely between you and your ex. Emotional attraction, physical attraction, all that sort of stuff. That doesn't mean that you can't just put up some sort of boundary between the two of you and just say, okay, we're only going to interact with one another as friends. That attraction is still going to be there. And if both of you honor and respect that boundary, then, you could just be platonic friends that are attracted to one another. And, you might be able to do that if you have like friends in common or something like that. It might be what you need to do. But there's always going to be that attraction there. Especially, if you're going after what you want in life, doing all these great things we talk about on this channel, all that sort of stuff. If you just want to stay friends with your ex, and you're not wanting anything romantic to happen there, then you're going to have to set up these strong boundaries, get them to opt into those boundaries as well too, get them to actually agree to those boundaries, have a open, explicit conversation about this with them. And really, get clear on this. On other videos on this channel, we've talked about communication, all that sort of stuff. We've talked about that in Effortless Connection, our communication course. So go through that as needed. But if you just want to stay platonic friends, that's what it's going to look like. And yes, you are going to be attracted to one another the entire time. However, if you want to pursue more than just a friendship with your ex, then, there is going to be that attraction that's there. And many times the attraction, the feeling of the previous romantic connection that the two of you had can create an elevated sense of pressure between the two of you. And many times after a breakup, this elevated sense of pressure of like, oh my goodness, are we dating? Are we not dating? Am I sending the wrong message by spending time with them? All that sort of stuff. It can create a high sense of pressure that can cause them to hold themselves back. Because people don't want to put themselves out there, especially if it might potentially mean, hey, I'm leading them on, hey, I'm not doing the right thing, hey, I'm sending mixed messages and all that. So people are probably going to hold themselves back. And many times if you just agree to say, hey, let's not force anything that's not there, let's just be friends for the time being, that can drop the pressure by having what we would call a same team conversation. That can drop the pressure and give them permission to spend more time with you, give them permission to get closer to you, give them permission to form more of an emotional bond with you. And as they form this emotional bond, it can show them that they actually do have stronger feelings for you than they initially realized. And it can allow you to see that maybe you have stronger feelings for them than you initially realized as well too. And as you build up this emotional connection between the two of you, you can look back on this after you're back together and you can say, hey, we were dating in our own way this whole time. Totally makes sense. That's how you would do it. I know that many times people want you to just say, hey, let's throw out some sort of ultimatum. I'll never be friends. Either we're friends or nothing at all. And I don't know if people are doing that out of pride, or maybe there's some coach out there that's telling them to do that or whatever. It doesn't work so well. Stuff like that can work if your ex is at a certain threshold of emotional connection with you, this is what we call the crisis point. We have this whole series on the 5 emotional stages your ex goes through in the process of reconciling with you. You can check it out right up there in the video card. But you want to make sure that they're at that crisis point level or beyond before you actually start to put this kind of pressure on them. Otherwise, they're going to take this pressure and they're going to actually pull back further. Okay, so what we actually want to do is drop the pressure by agreeing to be friends, building the emotional connection, and then as the connection gets to that certain threshold, that's when it can make sense to put on added levels of pressure. We want to be very mindful of pressure if you are, considering being, friends with your ex in order to build that connection for the possibility of seeing what might be possible between the two of you. It's really important that you do that because pressure is a huge factor in all of this. By the way, if you do like this video, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button for YouTube and leave a comment down below letting me know what sort of videos you'd like to see me make in the future, all that good stuff. But yeah, we want to be very mindful of pressure. Pressure is really, really important. And if we raise the pressure too soon, we risk them, pulling back a lot. Just like how on a first date, most people know not to come on really strong and add a lot of pressure by saying things like, so when are we getting married? What are our kids' names going to be? I'm thinking we're going to have 2.5, one boy, one girl, and 1/2 something. I don't know. But we're going to have 2.5. And these are their names going to be, and they're going to be this and that. And I'm like, what do you think? Obviously, that's going to be way too much pressure. And I think we all know that that is not the recommended way to behave on a first date. Hopefully, that's not how your first date went with your partner. But when it comes to making things work with a previous partner, we want to be very mindful of the pressure that we either are putting on or dropping out of the equation. And many times in these early stages, early by, emotional measures, not by time, but early stages in terms of the emotional connection, we want to make sure that we're dropping the pressure as much as possible, thus giving them permission to spend time with us, thus allowing us to build a stronger emotional interaction. And then as the emotional interaction gets stronger, as the emotional bond gets stronger, then it can make sense to increase the pressure to force a decision to get made. But yeah, that's what I'd recommend if you're planning on, being friends with your ex after a breakup, is if you just want to be friends with them and you don't want to actually pursue something romantic, put up those strong boundaries. If you want to pursue something romantic, then, drop the pressure and then add the pressure as the emotional connection gets stronger. And if that's something that you want some help with, we do have our course called the X Solution Program. It helps you to navigate your ex's emotional world. It's been there for 10 years now at this point, at least as of recording this video. So it's helped lots of people for the past decade, and we plan on keep doing it for at least the next decade after this. But anyway, you can check it out over at modernlove.life/ESP. That's modernlove.life/ESP. There's also a link down in the description box below. But once again, my name is Clay. Thanks so much. Please take care. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for YouTube, and I'll talk to you next time.